Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Healing in Hindsight. Um, just cutting to the chase. This is season finale time, part one. So you got one more episode, but it is now time for season two to come to a close. With the start of the new year, everything. This was originally the plan, but just wanted to take some time and have some reflection over the show in 2020. Some things with me, what I would like to do in 2021, and what you can expect for season three, which we'll go over in the next episode. But for now, I just wanted to take some time, reflect on the show and some learnings that I've had. And I know I didn't put out a New Year's Eve episode. It's truly because as I was starting to prep everything for it, it just didn't feel right, if I'm just being completely honest. I know the new year and everything that's going on, there's just a lot of mixed emotions. And I just really felt like it was a day of reflection and that it was a time for people to just be with themselves or with their families if they were able to or chose to, and not have another thing to like be absorbed into social media or whatever. So I want to find a balance between sharing stuff for you to consume and noodle on, as well as just respecting that sometimes you just need an unplugged day from the internet. So I am here in my little sacred space. I felt like it was really important to end the season where the show started, which is in this corner. Now, I'm actually on the floor and I've turned this into, again, my little sacred space. So I journal here, I read here, I meditate and pray here. I literally can just stretch out on the floor. I've got lots of blankets and pillows, just make it really cozy and comforting, to allow me that connection with myself. But before I turned it into this, it was my desk area, it was my recording area. If you look at the first video that I put up on Instagram, I'm technically in this corner. You can see part of my vision board, which is now updated to reflect what I would like to do for 21. But yeah, I just felt like it was meaningful now that this space is transformed to end the season where it started and to be excited for what this year, 2021, is going to be. So, with that being said, let's get started.
Perfect.
You're listening to Healing in Hindsight, your no BS source for thriving with diabetes. What's up, guys? I'm Taylor Danielle, and it's my goal to help millennial diabetics like myself live an amazing life without your diagnosis getting in the way. I get it. I was diagnosed back in 2015 with type 2 diabetes, and it was really hard to find people around my age to understand how to travel, socialize, or even have meaningful relationships. But I feel like with a focus on mindset, perspective, and nutrition, together we can take back our health and our lives. Consider this the red table talk, but for diabetics. Minus the entanglements, though. So let's do it. All right, so I decided that I wanted to share some reflections on last year and like a little reminiscing of starting the show and things that happened. And I decided to utilize the 2020 reflection from the 2021 Biddy Tarot Planner. I really just, I've had a lot of self-discovery and openings and trying new things. And part of that has been getting into tarot. Now, to be clear, I use tarot for self-development. The Lavender Lifestyle, I know there's a shop, there's a show. I cannot remember the host's name right now. I feel so bad. So if she watches this, listens to this, I'm so sorry, but I promise to tag you. But I really liked her video on using tarot for self-development. I know that there's a lot surrounding tarot, and I just feel like the only thing I should say is just do your own research and just trust your intuition and protect your energy and yourself. I don't see tarot as witchcraft. One of my good friends just really said it's a tool to tap into your intuition, right? So I use them to just kind of give me questions and help me focus my energy into the right places. So I won't share the cards. I think I'll just leave it, to be personal to myself. But I do want to reflect on 6 of the 8 questions that's in the planner for the 2020 reflection. The last 2 are things that I just feel like I want to keep to myself because it's about going into this year and goals and things like that. And if you've been following me on Instagram, I already told you what my 4 goals are on the 31st. And so I feel like that's what I'm gonna leave it at. And as more develops and I'm ready to share more, I will. So don't not keep up with me. But if you're curious as to what they are, head over there to Instagram and you'll be able to see. So the first question that it asks about is what were my biggest achievements in 2020? And, straight up launching this show. Converting it to a podcast because Healing in Hindsight did start out as a blog, but I had huge imposter syndrome and writer's block because I was trying to be something that I wasn't. And so when I recognize that when I have conversations or I'm talking about this, that's where my passion comes out. That's where you can really just hear how much this means to me, no matter how long it's taken me to get to this point. Technically, this is going on 6 years. My diabetic anniversary was back in November, and we're talking 5 years of being a diabetic. Am I fully healed? No, but I am well on my way. I did lower my A1C. I'm right on the edge of being at a point where I can hopefully come off medication. I'll be honest, the last couple of months have been a struggle a little bit. When I share that I was having a really bad kind of depressive episode and I worked myself into the ground and didn't really give myself any rest. And along with that came, not taking my medication properly and, kind of just eating whatever and not really checking my numbers, things like that. So it's by no means perfect, but I will say that one of my biggest achievements is just launching the show, getting it going, and being able to have the opportunity to share my story and the stories of others. I've really appreciated the guests that I've had on both in season 1 and season 2. And I would say my second biggest achievement is directly related to starting the show, but it is just holding up the mirror to myself and really starting true deep work on myself, and recognizing those dark areas and shadows that I was just kind of leaving over to the side and facing my insecurities about, the vanity, whether it's the metrics of having the show versus just me in general, of why do I care so much about my appearance in an unhealthy way? Trying to shape my body into something that it just doesn't fit a mold of, and all of these things. My self-esteem just of myself and feeling confident in my abilities. I became a manager in 2019 and went into the new year as a manager and then lost my job, and so feeling confident as a professional, and knowing that I have value to give, whether that's in corporate America or doing my own thing. And I made Healing in Hindsight an official LLC in August, right before launching the show, which is another big achievement for me. So I am a business owner, and I feel like I am at a place where I'm recognizing the value that I have, even though I'm small, even though I am working on, making the life that I dream of. Like it's in that space of humility that I feel really grateful, and feel really accomplished, even though there's a lot more that I want to do. So, getting the show going, taking some time to acknowledge myself and start the work on myself and, making this into a real business and carving my own path. I feel like those are things worth celebrating, and I'm proud of that. Even though there's more that I like to do, I'm gonna, take this moment to really just be grateful, and accepting of that. So that leads me to question 2, which is, what were my biggest challenges for 2020? And the challenges that I had, they all start with me. It's recognizing my value and my worth and having to strip away conditionings of how I should carry myself, of how I should seek my spirituality, of how I should have my own, way with God, and how I should run my business and how I should, operate my show and trying to get all these followers. And, so it was just a really deep, very naked stripping away of things that may have worked for others but not for me. And that was a huge challenge because I invested time and money especially into trying to make these things possible. And I had to learn that yes, I need to change and I need to adapt and I need to be able to be fluid and flow, but at the same time I can't always follow the norm. And that was hard because you're seeing people have all this success and do all these things, following the strategies and all the stuff, and I'm just like, why is that not working for me? um and it's because it's not my path, and that's okay. It's quite true to Taylor's nature of never following a guided path. I'd rather apparently take a machete and just venture into the jungle and cut my way into my own. I don't know. But it's definitely been a challenge to accept that things don't flow exactly the way that I want them to. And I need to be able to just, sit back and operate in a bit more of simplicity. I mean, I'm optimistic, but I can get so caught up in like, this is not going the way that I wanted. I'm not seeing this, I'm not seeing that. And it's just like, it's okay. I need to sit back and I need to be able to flow with things because um, with everything that I feel, confident that's going to happen in the next 6 months or so, if I can't adapt and if I'm so stubborn on it has to be like this, then, I might lose out. Um, which kind of leads to another, biggest challenge that I've had, and that is other people's feedback. And I want to be clear, in unwanted feedback. And, in the life of pursuing, I don't even know if I call this pursuing, but like, I didn't wake up one day and decide I want to be an influencer and I want to, none of that. I saw a need. I saw what I didn't have when I was diagnosed, and I was like, well, the online space is very open, and at the time I thought forgiving, and it's a space where it can turn into something. So let's do it, But now it could be the furthest thing from my mind to, seek approval from the social media influencer space. Um, I started out that way. I will just be very upfront about it. When I first launched Healing in Hindsight, I knew the core of my mission. I knew the core of what I wanted to do. But there was also like, oh, I really want to monetize. And what if I could do this? And, the entrepreneurial spirit was there, but in the wrong vein. And so one of my biggest challenges was just letting go of the thoughts and expectations of others, but at the same time, like not allowing unwanted feedback to just be so jarring for me that I couldn't take the nuggets that were valuable and leave the rest. Um, so I'm a Capricorn, January 15th. Whoop. And my rising is Cancer and my moon is Virgo. And so I care a hell of a lot what people think of the work that I put out. If my name is on it, there's no shitting on it, in my opinion. Like, it is, Taylor's work is solid, whatever Taylor does, like, unless I'm asking for feedback, there shouldn't be any. And I think that's something I had to really learn, and that's been one of my challenges, is I came from a world of constantly asking for feedback. No one ever had to give it to me. I was always asking for it. And so now that I, kind of took a bit of a back seat corporate wise and trying to build my own thing, I've become very prideful over this. This is my baby. I have invested a lot of money into this. I've made it an LLC. I am a business owner. So someone coming in when I didn't ask for them to say, here's this, and you should consider this, and you should do that. Like, no, like this is is mama bear mode now because I'm protecting what I'm building. I don't need your input. But it's also bled into personal life too, of like, okay, I just had this question about this one thing and you're going off into territories that I didn't ask for, and that's rubbing me the wrong way. And so my sister kind of told me best, and my partner too, of like, step back. It's okay, just let it roll off. Now I will say there was a bit where I found my voice a little bit and being able to express myself and like, it's not what I asked for. Cool. Here's my thoughts on this, but all right, I'm gonna fade back a little bit. And I've fine-tuned that a little bit to where it doesn't come off so defensive, right? But it's definitely been a challenge of like having people speak to you about something that you're not even requesting them to speak on, and being willing to put up the poker face and just be like, all right, the intention behind this is good. And even if it's not, I'm not going to let it phase me to a point where I just have to go like complete angry mom and protect myself because I feel like I'm being attacked. I feel like someone is tearing apart my work, and I know my work is valuable, and I can always improve upon it. I know this, and I need to get used to the fact that people are going to have opinions, and I'm not going to be able to control when they throw those opinions out, because that's really all that it is. I'm trying to control, but beating you to the punch of like, please give me feedback because now I'm prepared, I'm armored, I'm not going to be in my feelings about it. And especially in the online space, that's just not how it goes. Like, people are going to share, people are going to say things. And so far, no one said anything mean, but I'm going to have to be prepared for that. And I feel like, people challenging me in my personal life or just sharing, their opinions in my personal life it was a huge challenge and lesson for me in how I'm moving forward in this online space. So that leads to number 3, which is how have I developed as a person? And it has been, I feel like my development as a person has made me even more humble than before. But at the same time, it has pushed me to brag on myself. And I don't even like the word brag. I just feel like it's too crass. But like, I am often afraid to talk about my accomplishments. Because I am very much a person of like, but I haven't gotten here, so I can't say that I've done something great until I've reached this milestone. That's kind of the person that I am. Like, until I'm reaching these goals, like, nah, I'm still, digging through the trenches, hustling, all of that. When in reality, I need to celebrate what I have accomplished because they are still meaningful things. I'm very proud of the fact that I've been in therapy for almost 2 years. And that has really opened me up into a lot of self-reflection. And now, as I navigate my relationships and new people, like, not only am I hyping others up, but I'm not afraid to say, hey, but I do this, And so it is very hard to do, to want to raise your hand and say, can I talk about myself? Right? But I've done it. I did it in a self-care workshop. Y'all heard me talk about this multiple times. I just raised my hand. I didn't even think about it. I'm just like, I just need to get up here and spit. Right. I got to do, an email to the Almost 30 podcast community, just sharing my thoughts about the same workshop. But it was really cool to just share my story and like show people like, hey, it's cool to hype yourself up. It's cool to love you and take time for you. Right. I did my first paid speaking engagement. I've just developed this appreciation for like, Taylor, you have value. You can offer things. It's okay to hype yourself up. It's okay to be like, I'm kind of the shit, right? Like, I might not have, the masses running for me, right? But at the same time, I'm doing what I know feels good, and that's all that matters. And if I touch one person, great, because it still has a ripple effect into every aspect of their lives and possibly the lives of others. And really developing this sense of it doesn't matter who's looking, who's watching, as long as I approve and I feel good about the decisions that I'm making, then great. Everything else will fall into place. Um, I couldn't say that 2 years ago. There was just no way that I would ever just be like, I would just sit in my corner. I would just be like, I used to compare myself really bad, even to my closest friends. Like, man, y'all are doing this. Everybody's graduated college. I didn't, I'm, kind of bouncing jobs, and, I'm trying to figure out how I am in the corporate world, and it's, all these things, when it's just like, you know what? I'm a good person, and I am taking the time to do good things. And every interaction that I have, I'm making the attempt to leave that interaction and make it better than what it started with, So I've developed in just a deeper appreciation to hype myself up, and to, working on my shadows and sitting with my inner child. I used to really just like look at people strange when they say that. And so I sincerely apologize to anybody who does inner child work. Please keep doing it, because I just felt like it was weird to say inner child, but I get it now. And I am constantly looking to little Taylor and just trying to hug her and love her and let her speak to me, and, here are the things that you've been leaving me in the dark with, and it's time to heal and address them. So that development has been great. And I think the final thing for me is just my relationship with money. I twist my face up because it's so hard. I like things. I do like things, and it is something from my horoscope to my birth chart to all the things that is a thing for me to look out for. Um because I like to fill the voids of what I'm lacking, spiritually, with stuff. Shiny new things distract me long enough to get me to the next thing, right? But now, as a business owner and wanting to, continue to provide value, I recognize I can't spend the same way that I was doing. And even outside of business, it was putting me in really bad places um, with my home life. Like, I can't seek to buy and own land if I'm spending frivolously on makeup and clothes that I don't need. I have plenty of makeup and I have plenty of clothes. And, I have to remember that some of my favorite beauty YouTubers are being sent this stuff, or they have this space to buy this stuff. It's their passion, it's their avenue. So, of course, they're going to have 50 different lipsticks and lip glosses and shadows and highlighters and all the things that I love. But that doesn't mean I have to, right? So it's just recognizing what are the things that are valuable to spend on, what's not. If I really want to get myself into a good place to be able to excel my business and excel my personal finances, I need to really heal my relationship with money. And so that has been a huge development for me lately. I have been doing a lot better in how I manage my money, and I feel like that is setting me up to really be able to receive bigger abundance, because I just realized, like, God is not going to bless me with a ton of money if I can't even handle the little bit of money that I'm getting now. There's no way. And I refuse to, you know, go out and, maybe one day I win the lottery and then I end up dead broke, a year later, because I didn't know how to be responsible. Um, I'm saying that because I actually feel I'm feeling like I'm gonna play. I'm feeling like I'm gonna play. Anyways, more for like shits and giggles, not because like you just feel like when certain numbers pop up. 21 has been popping up a lot for me, and in numerology that would actually technically be 3. So I just kind of feel like, completion. Let me just try. So, anywho, so a lot of development as a person. What did I learn in 2020 is number 4. And there's just a lot of like as you can see, the theme is all flowing back to me and how I'm doing things, which is hilarious. But accepting change, and accepting change that I don't usher in, because I feel like when I'm the person making the avid moves for changes, it's easy. It's a lot easier to be like, okay, I can flow through this. I wanted this to happen. But when it's not me and it's just happening, I was very resistant. And in that resistance, I had a couple setbacks. But now, in recognizing that opportunities and abundance is really going to flow for me, I have to be able to pivot and accept and move and just, not have such these huge grand expectations, have grand dreams, right? But recognize the realistic value of it might not always come in in a way that is my exact doing. I hope that makes sense. But just really accepting change and not resisting transformation and transcendence. Um, because especially my need for approval of others and for people to not critique, I have to be willing to, be solid in my foundation of what I believe in, and flow even when others don't agree, or even when like there's suggestions that I wouldn't personally, think to pursue. Like, I just have to accept change and transformation, whether that's change for the good or change where like I have to let something go because it doesn't serve me anymore. Trying not to hold on so much to something that, if I'm really not feeling like this, hell yes, this needs to happen, then it needs to go in the hell no pile and keep and be gifted off to somebody else to kind of bring to life. So I would say that's one of the biggest things that I've learned in 2020. um you know I think the other thing is, I hope he doesn't feel weird about me saying this, but, kind of just releasing the vice grip on my partner. And I say that in a sense of like, we've gone through a lot in the last couple of years. Obviously 2020 was no different for us in all of the, racial unrest and all these kind of things like that. But I literally told him on New Year's Eve that I have such a deep respect for him, and I hold his opinions of me in such a high regard that I lean so hard on him for validation on if I'm doing something right. And I can't do that. I can't expect or ask for him to kind of just be the final gavel on everything. I think, seeking support and counsel is good with your partner, but ultimately I have to make the decision. He can't make it for me, because it's not designed for me. It's designed for him and his thought process. So I've definitely learned that I need to give him space and not worry about him so much, and that his own walk and journey with his relationship with himself and his spirituality and all these things, that he's going to do what he has to do for the betterment of himself first and our relationship, which comes second, because the both of us can't function if we aren't right with ourselves. And I definitely don't want to bring any negative energy or anything like that to him simply because I need to get my shit together, and vice versa. And so, um, having faith and trust that our love and our relationship will remain strengthened by us continuing to grow ourselves and develop ourselves and then bring that together, but not being dependent on one another to validate what we're doing. Um, and so, we had a discussion about it, and I'm like, it's something I recognize that I do. I depend on you way too hard to make me feel good about decisions that I'm making, and I have to own that. And, at the same time, I kind of need you to just start vocalizing, because I tend to just um always be the initiator of, do you have a thought on this? But it ultimately lands with like me trusting my partner and the relationship that we have, that things will flow. And I just need to make sure I'm doing everything that I can on my end, and I'm being accepting, open, and reciprocal to everything with him. So those are kind of my two biggest things. If I could describe 2020 in just 3 words, which is question number 5, it's create, accept, and prosper. Um, create is like just fucking do it, guys. Like, just do it. Like, whatever it is, just do it. Like, I am not making any money right? I'm not, living this grandish life right now, but that's okay. I'm creating, I'm speaking, I'm engaging, I am enjoying the process. I'm getting back into my art. I'm doing so much that feels really good to me. And it really just started with fucking do it. Okay. Sorry. I hope you're not listening to this around kids or anything. Y'all know how I roll though. But just do it. Just do it and see how it feels. And, it's just like walking with little babies. Like, they're going to feel wobbly and they're looking around. They're like, what? And if they fall back down, they're like, wait, what? I was just up. Like, what happened? And they keep trying. And so that is honestly what this year has taught me is just do it. Like, clearly the world shut down and you're still able to start something. It almost gave us the room and the permission, I feel. And now it's just like you don't need permission from anybody else anymore. Like, that's what this year's proven. You don't need permission. You just need to choose what's valuable to you and just do it. Is it valuable for you to start that business? Is it valuable for you to start that podcast, that YouTube channel, that hobby? It's not even something that has to bring you money. Like, I wanted to read more and I'm finally finishing a book and got 10 more on deck to read and I plan to read them all. I finished 3 journals. Like, just start. Might have got a little passionate there because just start. Accept is like the change, the times, just having acceptance of self, having acceptance of the relationships that you have, the relationships you might have had to let go of, accepting where I am with my diagnosis. Again, 5 years into this, guys, I'm not perfect. I spent 2 years in denial, and I'm still making changes and shifts that we can all do. And I'm still getting up every day and trying, but I also recognize, okay, when I wake up and my numbers for the morning might have been 280, yikes, I'm going to accept that. And you know what? I'm going to move forward and make the appropriate changes throughout my day to get myself back on track, So just kind of being present, almost is something that I feel like is a big thing for me from 2020. That's why accept is one of those words. Excuse me. And then prosper. I actually made money. It wasn't a whole lot, but I'm still grateful. I've been on other podcasts. I have, gotten to write for someone. I've gotten to share my story and I've been able to make really great connections. And, I'm growing the show and I'm recognizing listeners, across the world. Shout out to India. Y'all have been really listening to me and I am so grateful for everybody listening. Every time I check to see where in the world you are, it's really awesome to see, people who are tuning in across the world. So thank you, So prosper is just kind of this thing of like, even though I'm not seeing what some people would think should be seen, like, ranking in podcast world and a bunch of Instagram followers, all these things, like it doesn't even matter because that's not what I'm banking on. I think just the feeling that I have inside and the overwhelming love and happiness that I'm starting to feel in everything that I want to do moving forward. I think that it's just going to be prosperous, just a word that's long flowing. It started, midway in 2020 and it's just going to keep flowing all the way through 2023. Don't ask me why 2023 is the thing. It just is. I don't know. I've just been going with my gut and sometimes stuff falls out of my mouth in a way of like claiming it. So we're claiming it, 2023 is going to be like the next big thing for me. Don't ask me what it is. I don't know. And then lastly, the 6th question is, what aspects of 2020 can I leave behind? And I feel like it's a list for sure. But I think it's a list that's just going to be the tests and the challenges that I come up against. I feel like it's a list that is going to show me how much I've grown. So I'll just kind of read them off and leave my thoughts with it. Resistance to change. Clearly, that's been a thing. Fear of being myself. Fear of failure. Fear around money. Lack of money. Fear that my relationship isn't strong. Vanity. Illness. Debt. Financial ignorance. Lack of confidence. And spiritual ignorance. I'm leaving all that behind because I am well aware now of how my life is going to be. I'm fully aware of the challenges that I face or will face, and the awareness allows me to prepare, to take caution, but also to just flow and be accepting and surrendering to the way that things are going to unfold. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the details. I don't know how everything is going to go down. What I do know, and what literally like lights my gut up of like, oh my God, this fire is my business is going to take off. Don't know how. I just know it's going to happen. The show's going to take off. I'm going to get to meet some incredible souls. Hopefully that's some of you. I'm going to be able to bring more awareness to, the diabetic space and be able to connect with others who have amazing platforms, big or small, don't care, and be able to just collaborate and ensuring that as we move through, the following year, that the stereotypes and misconceptions and lack of access is challenged and reshaped, because especially for minority communities, we're getting slapped with diabetes left and right. And we got to be able to change that. And sometimes that means policies. Sometimes that means our food system. Sometimes that means taking that shit into your own hands and growing your own, right? Like, that's what I plan on doing. So it's just one of those things where, like, I just really feel like so much is about to just blossom and grow. And it's just going to require a bit of nurturing and a bit of faith and a bit of patience. But that whole list is getting left in 2020 because I'm aware, and there's no need to fear success anymore. There's no need to fear lack of money or being able to make money, because I just know that things are going to flow in the way that they need to. And when I do come up across those tests and challenges, I know I'm equipped with everything that I need and the discernment that I need to be able to make the right decision no matter how hard. So I am really grateful for how this season has unfolded. I'm really grateful for the lessons that have come from it. And obviously I'm just grateful for anyone and everyone who takes the time to listen or watch, because it is absolutely a lot. And I am still fumbling through this, but I'm enjoying the process. And there's just nothing but amazing things that's going to be coming for this platform, and I'm excited to get to like have that journey with you guys. So that is all I have for part one of the season finale. Part two, I really would just like to take the time to reflect on the guests that I've had. I think they absolutely deserve another round of applause. Shout out all of the things for lending their time and their wisdom to the show. And then I want to talk about some new and exciting things that I am planning for season 3 and for Healing in Hindsight in general. I really want to take things to the next level and connect with you guys deeper. And then, just gratitude and, closing down season 2 and resting. So that way we can do things for season 3. So I look forward to it. Hint, hint, season finale, final part 2 is the day before my birthday. So I might be hella festive just because it'll be right before I ring in 31, which I'm very excited to go through. I was feeling weird, y'all. I was gonna be like, no, we need a 30 2.0 because 2020 was a little weird. But now I've accepted, and 31 is gonna be 31 as in one as in winning. So I'm actually looking forward to it, and just really enjoying some time to myself and with my friends and family, safely, and just preparing some goodies for you guys. I know breaks can be hard sometimes. I promise it won't be super long, but a lot of good shit is coming. I'm just super excited about it. So that being said, I wanted to share that I am on Clubhouse. I know everyone's like, the hell is Clubhouse? What's all the rage? I don't get it. It's simply just an audio platform where you can have conversations in kind of like this chat room like form. I've been enjoying the experience, and so I will be starting rooms very soon. So if you are on Clubhouse, be sure to look me up at Taylor Danielle. I would love to be able to get close to you guys and speak more about your stories and your experiences. Whether you are a diabetic or you have a friend or family member that is diabetic, I really want us to create community and have authentic conversations about how we can make changes, whether that's small lifestyle changes to massive changes across the world. So follow me on Clubhouse, and if you leave a review on iTunes, okay, screenshot it, and 4 lucky people will get an invite to Clubhouse. So if you've been waiting and you have really wanted to be able to check out the platform, sorry, only for iPhone users. I don't know when they're rolling out Android, but if you are an iPhone user and you've been wanting to check out Clubhouse, leave me a rating, a true rating. I won't even ask for 5 stars. I want honest feedback on the show. Leave me a rating, screenshot it, send it to me on Instagram in a DM at Healing in Hindsight, and I will be gifting a direct invitation into Clubhouse for 4 lucky people. So it will be at random, and I will be making that selection on January 14th. Okay, January 1/4. It is my special birthday gift to 4 lucky people. So be sure to head over to iTunes, leave a rating, screenshot it, send it to me at Healing in Hindsight in a DM on Instagram, okay? I will be blasting this all across Instagram as well, but I just want to give people the opportunity to experience Clubhouse. I feel like it's been a great platform so far, and so I would love to just share the invitations to those who want it. I thought I was just going to invite random people, but if you don't want it, I don't want to, send it to somebody who doesn't want it or need it. I'd rather send it to somebody who genuinely would like to experience it. So leave a rating, screenshot, DM it to me, and I will catch you guys next time.